Hey you guys, so this is Danny Marie from 20’s Cosmetics. Welcome back to our second episode. Yes, our second episode. I know I told you guys previously in another video, that we will be doing vlogs, weekly vlogs on Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Well, I had to switch it up and change that little correlation. So we're only going to do Mondays and Fridays for right now. I kind of wanted to mix this channel up, not with just cosmetics, but lifestyle tips, stories, and also to give y'all, like I said in the previous video, an insight of who I am. So let's get started. So today's episode will be about what I wish I knew in my 20s, because I previously shared to you guys, if nobody don't know, I'm 31 years old. Yes, girl. 31, look good, smell good, everything, right? But I'm 31 years old, and so I kind of wanted to give women the advice of what I wish I knew in my 20s that I know now in my 30s. Kind of give y'all an upset. So what I wish I knew in my 20s was, 1, the importance of financial literacy. 2, the importance of education, how it affects your future. The decisions that you make today affects 5-10 years down the line, as well as having security with my money and not being so thoughtless and careless with my money at the time. So I'm pretty sure you guys are well aware that I stripped. And so I do it from time to time when I need extra money, but hands down, my business is doing okay. But part of it was in my 20s when I started making money. I was just in college, right? And so I was working a regular job. I was working I think at that time I was working at McDonald's still, back in Germantown. Anybody don't know what Germantown, that's in Philly, Brickyard, you know. Everybody know, but it was exciting and it was invigorating. And at that time I was working 2 weeks, and I would work, I think, over 42 hours, and I was bringing home after taxes like $348. So my money was strictly going to my daughter, and then I would have a little money left over to get my nails and my hair done, and enough money to get back and forth to work. So I had a girlfriend that I went to high school with. She at the time was dancing, and so I seen her come in McDonald's one day, and she's like, hey, like, what's going on, how you doing? I said, oh, I'm doing good. And I was upset that day, something had happened. And she was like, oh, you should you don't like working here? I was like, no. I said, where you working at? And she was like, oh, I work at this club. I was like, yeah. She was like, yeah, it's fast money, and you can go there and you'll do this. So at the time, my first ever strip club that I ever worked at in Philly was called the Piccadilly. Now, anybody know that's from Philly, they know what the Piccadilly is. It is like the smallest African-American owned bar. What I respected about the bar owner, and I can't remember his name, I'm so happy because he let me work that night. So I auditioned. I went with her later on that day. I quit McDonald's. I was like, I'm over this shit. And I ended up going. Best decision I ever made in my life. Best decision I made, because that night I had walked out of there, I think, with $700. And at that night, I think it was Man Law Mondays, because at that time it was $2 night. So you can get fucked up literally on $40 worth of alcohol, and you'll have a bunch of shit. So at that time we went, and I never held that much money in my hand. And that was the start of it. That was the start of me dancing. Then I ended up going to Atlantis. Then from Atlantis, I went to Penthouse. To Penthouse, I went to Baltimore. I went to some places down south. I danced all over. I went to places in New York. It was okay. I bounced around, but really I was comfortable in the Philly setting. So this brings me back to what I wish I knew in my 20s. The money that I was making back then versus now, the strip clubs is still the same initially in a way, right, in Philly. But what I wish I would have known was, I wish I would have applied that money into something and not be so careless in buying shoes and buying bags. And at that time, I was buying cars like crazy. I was buying used cars because I didn't want a car note. And that's what brings me to, like, Ladies, be careful with your money, regardless of what field you do. Regardless of what field you do, always have your shit together. And I'm being so clear with this because there is so many things out here that people don't understand, and they try to confuse you, right? As well as stay away from them bum ass niggas as well, because there's men out here that will use you because they see you getting on and they feel like they can take a back seat because you're holding it down, and that's not your job. And I'm here to tell you, ladies, stack your money. If your credit is A1, put into something that's worth saving. Put into something, investing in yourself. And part of investing in yourself, whether you want to do real estate, you want to open a business, whether you want to do car rentals, whether you want to do something else, you want to do acting, you want to do whatever it is that you want to do, ladies, always have your finances in check. And do not, and I say this constantly, do not allow no one else to take care of your finances except for you. And you make sure that every penny down to the dollar is yours. Don't trust nobody with your money, because ladies, we have seen this many times with celebrity couples. We have seen this with divorces within our own communities, where women got comfortable and they didn't know what was going on until after the relationship was over, and they found out that their finances was fucked up because their spouse was doing this. This is why I said I wish I knew then what I would know now. Now, have I ever had a man try to take advantage of me? I had a few, but you leave them in the dust, because red flags is everything, and you have to pay attention to those red flags. And ladies, it is not your responsibility to save anyone but yourself. No one can save you but you. And so that's what brings me to detail number 2, which I wish I knew in my 20s. The importance of credit. Oh my God. And this is where I had seen an article, I think on the Shade Room, and I seen it on New York Times on the internet. And Florida was implementing financial literacy as part of a high school curriculum to graduate from 9th through 12th. I thought that was the most brilliant thing they ever could have did, and very innovative, because when I was coming out into the world, my grandparents didn't tell me the importance of credit, how it worked, how stuff went. I remember going to college and I took a loan out, and I wish I would have never did that, because the money that I could have made that at that time I was dancing, before I started dancing, I would have paid that loan off in less than like maybe 2-3 weeks tops. But at that time, the importance of the literacy of credit, as well as knowing how to use it and be successful, and knowing that credit is a disposable tool that can help you grow your businesses. That is so important. Ladies, have your credit together. I am going through this right now. I'm in the process of fixing my credit. And when I tell you, a lot of the things that I was doing in my 20s was reckless with my credit, within taking out student loans. It was, I had a few credit cards, as well as, I had negative items. At that time, I had lost my place eventually a few years down the line. And so my credit was shot. And to be honest with you, it's still a little rough. It's not as bad as it was, but I'm in the rebuilding phase. And what I appreciate about now is on the internet, we didn't have a lot of people teaching that back in 2009, early 2009, 2013, 14, especially the groups that were on the internet at the time. You've seen people do it, but it wasn't thriving like every other picture or every other advertisement. They're speaking about financial literacy. One page that I want y'all to go check out, please, is Earn Your Leisure. When I tell you those guys are dope, it's not only that they teach you about stocks, trading, IRAs, they teach you about how to manage your money and investments. And I think it's so important in this time right now, because I'm pretty sure y'all are well aware, because This is after midnight here. What's going on in Russia, and the importance of credit plays a big part, because you can get the fuck up and leave at any time. You can take your family and say, we out, got to go. And the importance of it is making sure that everything is well taken care of, and you want to have that security so that you don't have to worry about depending on a man, or you buying trade lines for somebody for $2,000-3,000. Like, I seen all types of stuff, credit repairs, that sometimes these people be slinky, but credit is so important, because when you have good credit, you have power, and you can basically walk to a bank and say, hey, I want to take out this, get business funding. Hey, I want to go do this. Like, I have a business that have great business credit, but because of my personal credit is impacted because of that, they said, we want to give it to you, but your personal credit is fucked up. Ladies, when I must say, if you haven't already, please start to fix your credit. It is very important. It is vital to have that, because credit can open the doors into your life to things that you were not able to assess without it, right? And I think that it's so important to have that, as well as knowing how to use it properly. Like I said previously for me, I was never taught that in schools or anything, and I think that it should be a major financial literacy should be taught from middle school to high school. I think it should be a required course, because these kids need to know how to balance checkbooks and the importance of maintaining balances, making sure the money in your bank is working for you. I'm in the process of right now teaching my son that. Like, we was talking about something that he wanted to do as far as like YouTube videos, and I told him, like, I'm very private about my children being on social media. So I'm like, I don't mind a picture here and there, but I don't play when it comes to them, because people are weirdos and do weird stuff. And I told him, listen, I'll let you do it eventually down the line, but I said, I think at this age, like, it's a no. And he was a little sad, but I told him, but listen, we can learn about this. I'll open you up a bank account, and now we can start putting your money in there, and it grow. And so he got so excited, and I was so happy to do that for him, because I want to show him independence. Like, listen, this is what you can do, but then also prove to myself that I can make sure that my son have what he needs and everything that he wants. And I think that is so important in today's youth, that if you give them the skills to learn this stuff, that they will have 100% chance higher at attaining things before they turn 18 and being successful. That's my take on it. I felt like, like I said, credit, money is important. My number 3 tip, of which I would have known in my 20s, was valuing my self-worth. Self-worth is so important, ladies, and healing, right? I wish that in my 20s, I would have looked past a lot of things and tried to heal the inner child within me. And in doing the work the last few years, it has been very rewarding of getting to know who I am. And part of knowing who I am is getting to a place of where sometimes you don't have all the answers, right? And you be trying to be in a hurry, you're in a rush, like I'm in a rush. Ladies, take your time for self-worth. Take your time to really get to know who you is before you become somebody's wife, before you become somebody's girlfriend, before you have a child with somebody. Get to know who you are, because that can dictate the type of relationships you attract. And I might get pushed back on it, but whatever, I don't care, because this is my channel, and if you don't like it, we really don't care. But self-worth plays a big part in esteem, right? And I know what people want to say, like, oh my God, well, you was a stripper, what kind of self-esteem? First of all, let me tell you something, it's powerful shit, because we don't allow certain shit. I can't speak for everybody, but I know the girls that I worked around, they were thorough. These girls wasn't fucking men for money. Excuse my language, but it is what it is. They was not fucking men for money. They wasn't doing none of that. They walked in a club, they did their business, and they walked out, got in their car, and went home. There's many nights that I have girlfriends now. Hopefully that I can interview them, and so we can talk about it, of our experience in dancing days, because the myths that we hear is so crazy and it's so far from what it is. I have friends that are nurses, that are doctors. I have friends that have PhDs that's going for their masters. I have friends that own real estate. I have friends that own businesses. People that work in the film industry, models. Like, it's so crazy the stigma that's behind it, right? And this is why I said self-worth and self-respect come in it, because the thing I used to take to heart, especially I had family that did not agree with what I did, and I used to flaunt it. And I'm not gonna lie to you ladies, like, I flaunted it. Like, at one point I had pictures up there. It's crazy. Like, I was wild in my 20s, and I wish I would have had the self-respect and the discernment to keep it to myself. Because do I regret it now? Nah, I don't regret it. Because I get to look back and laugh, as like, I remember what I was going through that night. But self-worth and knowing who you are and healing is I wish I would have known that back then and emphasized on it, because all that plays a part in how you navigate through life, in your relationships, and your personal time. And always make time, ladies, for self-care. It is very important. And I don't care if you use our skincare products, hello, which is Eden Skincare, to help you guys achieve them looks, as well as taking time out for you. Even if it's going to get a massage, it's going to get your nails done, it's going to get your makeup done, your hair, you know, whatever it is, that going out to eat at a luxurious dinner, whatever it is that you need to obtain that is mostly important to maintain that self-care. That self-care will take you a long way, as well as it will keep you centered. For me, part of my journey with my healing was accepting that I wasn't going to get an I'm sorry from people, or I did you wrong and I'm sorry. And vengeance is mine, says the Lord. And I said it would be ignorant to call on God and say, you know, you need to, I'm going to take care on this. And he said, no, I got this. Let them stay where they at. And I had to learn that. And part of the healing is growing and say, what did I learn from this? And how I won't make this mistake again, or how I won't interact with this again. And it kind of worked in my favor. You know, it kind of worked in my favor, and I'm so excited about that, because self-care and healing go hand in hand. And you must have mental checks with yourself. Therapy played another part in this journey as well. I had therapy a few years back, and I went for like 2.5 years. And recently I inquired about going back, because I like to have checks and balances when it comes to not only evaluating life, but keeping me accountable and keeping me in check with myself, as well as having an outsider help me through more healing and more processing, because I'm such a thinker and I'm always in my head. The fourth thing, which is our last thing, that is what I wish I would have knew in my 20s. Because there's so many. Stop chasing these niggas. That is. Stop chasing these men. The men is always going to be there, but the opportunities is not going to be there all the time. Ladies, it is very vital, and I said this in the third step, but I'm going to say this again. Always have your shit in check when it comes to these men, because some of them are vicious and they savages. And I'm not going to say all of them, because I said some. There's some men out here that are vicious and vile, and their spirit is not right. And they feel like they in competition with their women, or they have to self-sabotage women to make them feel good or to put them under. Always have yourself in a place where you don't have to depend or need. It's nice to have one. Now, I'm not saying the independent black one. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is it is very important to, one, always have yourself in check, because chasing these men is not going to get you there. Instead of being with the rich man, be the rich woman, and then you can pick all the men that you want. Because there's a narrative and I hate this, that's going out with women, not just black women, it's all women of all races, that they want a rich man. And it's like, hold up. In the age of where I'm seeing studies showing that more women is going to college and more women are obtaining degrees and more businesses in the pandemic than men. And to be honest with you, in the job market, we're making less than $1, but the men are making over. And if you want to break it down in color, I'm not going to do that today because this is not that type of video, but it plays a big part in that. And so the narrative that all women want a rich nigga, let me tell you this right here and right now. Be the rich woman, and then you can get any man you want. Don't be out here chasing these men, because I'm telling you now, when you go start chasing stuff, you're going to find something you're not ready, and what you looking for and what you think the facade is not. Ladies, that's for another day, another dollar. I'll tell y'all that story too as well. I was with somebody from 2014 to 2020, and he lied about everything. And at the time, I said in a previous video, like, I was inspired by this man, right? Because he was cool, he was thorough, but he was living a lie. And the thing is, the last few months of me and him, he was just sloppy. And I was catching him, and I was like, yo, like, what's up? Like, can you just tell me the truth? And he still went up until the last minute. And so that goes to tell you, always have your own, ladies. Do not chase these men, because there's so many opportunities. There's grant monies out here. There's all type of programs that's for women. There's all types of things that's out here that's for you to chase your bag and go after your dreams. But if you want to attain your success to a man, that's not going to work out for you. And I'm telling you that because as a 31-year-old woman, no, was I chasing him? No, but I was in love. And love can be tricky, because before you're somebody's wife, you need to have your own life. Because when it all falls and crumbles, you need to know who you are. And that's what's going to make you great, because of how you bounce back from that, right? And so that is just my tips on what I wish I knew in my 20s. Pretty sure why y'all saying, like, why she got her makeup done. So tonight I'm going out on a blind date. A friend of mine set it up. I haven't dated in a few months, so she set me up with someone, and we're gonna go out to dinner, and I'm gonna tell y'all what happened on Monday. Plus I gotta go to work this weekend, so I might show y'all snippets of me dancing somewhere or not, you'll see. But I'm so excited for you guys to join me. Thank you guys so much again for subscribing for our Friday meet and what I wish I knew in my 20s. Also as well, can you please go subscribe at YumayaCosmetics.net, as well as follow us on Instagram at YumayaCosmetics.net. If you want to follow my personal page, it's Danielle Marie I Am on Instagram. And as well as, please shop with us for Eden Skincare, which I own, as well as Yumaya Cosmetics. And what you do is you go on YumayaCosmetics.net, and you can go look at our full list of our full makeup line, as well as our skincare, which is Eden Skincare. We have great products at affordable rates, and we look to serve you guys soon. Thank you guys again for coming in for us this week, and we can't wait to see you guys on Monday. Thank you guys. So see you guys later. Bye.